Hello and welcome back, everybody. How about a little Greek rivalry here? How about some Epirus versus Macedon outside the pyramids? So I don't know where the Ptolemies were at this point, but apparently the other Greek states here fighting for dominance right in the Ptolemies' backyard, and they're not even here to get involved. Let's go check out the Macedonian army first. I can see some slingers. There are likely more hidden in the scrub there. And I can see some Agrionian axemen. These are really cool, unique Peltis support units that are pretty darn solid in a melee afterwards. They don't come with amazing armor, but they've got some. I think part of it's due to their shield. They're obviously deadly with the javelin. Very nice flank support units for Macedon. Nice flexibility unit. They're out here with the Thurio spears, both of which can pump out some javelins. You've got some Thessalian cavalry. This is really, in my opinion, probably the best unit on the Macedonian roster. At its cost, it's just very deadly. It's not a very expensive cavalry unit, but it can certainly do some damage. Thorax Swords is kind of the best heavy sword infantry that Macedon can rely on in numbers. And they're going to have a Royal Peltis general here. Royal Peltis are obviously better swords than those. The downside to Royal Peltis is that since they get the missile attack, they're going to be kind of moderated in melee. So they are good in melee, but their armor and defense is a bit or mostly their defense is a bit lacking compared to the other heavy swords, as is their damage. And so it does restrain them a little bit in melee if you just go head-to-head with another really elite sword unit. But if they use their javelins properly, they're really quite deadly, and they can be very fun to use. We've got some citizen cavalry and some more Agrionians, and then we can see some Tarentine cavalry out on the flanks, a medium skirmish cavalry, so a little bit heavier, decent charges against light units. Their armor's a bit higher there as well. Let's go check out Epirus. Epirus has cheap slingers up front as well. A second line of mercenary Italian spears, just a cheap spear unit. I do not believe they pitch javelins before they get into a fight. And then we're going to have some Hellenic Royal Guard. What the heck? What a pick. This is an elite Pike unit. What in the world? 3 Hellenic Royal Guards? 4. No way. This is an elite Pike line, folks. Backed up by a Royal Peltist. I almost don't even know what to think right now. Now, they're supported by Agrionians as well, which you definitely want that support with Pikes because they are very susceptible to javelins. Very interesting build indeed. Just a couple of citizen cav. So Epirus is very light on cav and very heavy on infantry. Macedon certainly has a mobility advantage, and we will see how they are able to exercise it here. In terms of infantry, I mean, if these infantries end up going head-to-head, I mean, those pikemen are going to absolutely murder any of this stuff in a head-on engagement. Now, I don't expect Macedon to willingly go head-on into those pikes, but yeah, I mean, if they do, they will get absolutely shredded. So we will see what happens here. But again, that mobility, if Macedon's patient here, those are not Thurio spears. Those Tarentine cavalry definitely need to pick at the citizens and the slingers if possible. But those units are obviously going to start shooting back as well. But that could provide Macedon good opportunities to get into a preferable skirmish fight. But look at this, the mercenary Rhodians over here. 2 of them mixed in. Epirus's count, we didn't see those initially. Those Rhodians are going to make life miserable. Oh my gosh, look how quickly they are slaughtering the standard slinger here. Rhodians are the best slingers. They're a little bit better than Balearics, I believe. And I think it's because of fire rate. And I mean, that is brutal right there. They are shredding those Macedonian slingers. Wow. So Epirus is gaining a skirmish advantage, and that is certainly the first step that they would need to force the enemy straight into their elite infantry, is to gain the skirmish dominance here. This battle's far from over. Those mercenary Thracian warriors are very tempting targets for the Epirus skirmish line because they could shred these units in a heartbeat. Those slingers, they do not have shields to be in this type of fight. You can see their shield is just kind of there to keep their elbow from getting scraped. So not going to be ideal. Let's see where the next line of fire comes into. The Agrionians, not a bad pick there. The Agrionians could come up and pose a danger to the Rhodians if the Rhodians don't fall back, but I would imagine we'll see them fall back. Yep, there we go. Agrionians got quite an arm too, so Here comes the Tarentines pushing hard, but then pulling back against that flank. That's smart. They shouldn't really push any further into that. So Macedon getting aggressive here. They're feeling the hurt after that initial skirmish exchange, getting one of their slingers absolutely annihilated. And right now, their mercenary Thracian warriors kind of just have to go for it here. Yeah, here comes the Pikes. Ooh, boy. These guys are gonna get educated in the school of exquisite pain. Whew. The Hellenic Royal Guard, of course, the Epirote Academy of Exquisite Pain. Yikes. That's gonna hurt. That's gonna hurt. So there goes the mercenary Thracian warriors, and no doubt they're going to be questioning their loyalty to Macedon the next time Macedon comes looking to hire mercenaries. And now we're going to have the Thorax Swords come in. The Thorax Swords would actually do well to maybe push this gap and see if they can get those guards to turn their flank. Let's see what they do. They're going to move up, and presumably they're going to expend their javelins. Now, the problem is they're going to be under fire by Agrionian axemen and potentially slingers as well. And we're going to see the Hellenic Royal Guard just move forward, which is the right move here. Yeah, and then if these guys turn their back, they're just, oh my gosh. Yeah, they're going to eat missile fire. Don't want to turn your back to that. Nice pressure here from the spearmen. That's going to draw in Macedon's cavalry to support, which is good support, by the way. Whew. Yeah, now you've got the slingers and the Royal Peltist in range of these Hellenic Royal Guards, so let's see if Epirus can even some of that out. Sometimes I like to see the Thorax Swords, in this case, maybe get into a really blocky formation. It does make them a little bit susceptible to some of that missile fire, but it also leaves the edges of this Hellenic Royal Guard block exposed on the flanks to additional slinger and javelin fire. But look at this, I mean, Macedon has kind of fallen back in its middle, and Epirus is just pushing right through that and really putting a lot of pressure. Two Royal Peltists right here, possibly going to go head-to-head, too. That could be entertaining. Macedon is really getting shredded by those elite Pikes. And right here, the elite Pikes have been fixed as well. The Agrionians threw their javelins, and now they've got the wrong melee order. They really need to move around the flank here. Now, there's enemy Agrionians there to support as well. So Macedon has not been able to outflank the Hellenic Royal Guard. They're very busy right now, probably maneuvering their cavalry, I would expect. And it's costing them in terms of these infantry engagements. Now, some of those Hellenic Royal Guard have taken a bit of a beating, but they're not dead. Still very much alive. Thessalian cavalry here getting a really good hit on those Agrionians. But the mercenary Italian spears and citizen cavalry up here cleaning up some Tarentines. And we've still got slingers over here. The mercenary Rhodians took a little bit of a hit there, but this unit's still quite healthy. Thorax Sword here got mixed up with the Royal Peltist. That Royal Peltist is going to shut them down because there's no more support for Macedon there. Now the Macedonian Royal Peltist find themselves engaging a Hellenic Royal Guard, which if it gets its pikes down is going to be getting some incredible value over here. The Hellenic Royal Guard, though, is very decimated, and there's an odd formation attack weirdness going on over here that's not helping the Hellenic Royal Guard, or the Royal Peltist for that matter. But the Royal Peltist will get the better of that engagement just based on the awkward angles that are going on. This Hellenic Royal Guard, a little bit more outflanked now. Not incredible, but there's a lot of non-pike melee going on here, and that's not going to go well for the Hellenic Royal Guard, though some of their pikes are still down, and they'll still get some kills. Let's see what's going on with Macedon's cavalry. They still have some here, but I can see a lot of their cavalry now missing from the battlefield, which is not good for Macedon, because that was really one of their key ingredients to victory here. There's a Tarentine cavalry coming out of the scrub back there that could still find itself be useful here. Agrionians pushing through here towards the Macedonian slingers, as is a Hellenic Royal Guard. And Macedon's retreating, but that's going to bring the enemy infantry right into their slingers. I don't blame them for retreating. I mean, there's two Hellenic Royal Guard right in their face. The Macedonian infantry kind of got shredded early. Right now, that Royal Peltist is doing quite well for itself, the support of the Agrionians. There's a Thessalian cavalry here, though, that could certainly put some hurt into the back of that Royal Peltis. Let's see if that's what they do. They are certainly needed there, but they are not charging it.
Orders understood.
Yeah, they're headed elsewhere, chasing a routing unit, I believe. The Epirot General is vulnerable to that cavalry right now. Macedon just is not going for it. There's another Rhodian Slinger over there, too, that would make a nice target, but there's citizen cavalry nearby as well. Yeah, so I'm not seeing a charge headed that way. Let's see what's over here. The Hellenic Royal Guard continue to push towards the Slingers. The Slingers, though, have kept their distance. And at the moment, at least, they've managed to stay alive. Thorax Sword will probably need to get in here and stop the Agrionians. But, I mean, at the moment, this is... Macedon's done a pretty good job of trying to continue to cause damage as they fall back there. At Royal Peltist, again, that rear charge would have been critical there, but the Thessalian cavalry is headed elsewhere. The Agrionians, though, do get out and supply some support here, tossing some javelins into that fight, and certainly turning it in the favor of Macedon there, but let's see what's going on over here. A Thurio Spear and a square up against the Italian Spear, so this is definitely a noodle fight there. And those Hellenic Royal Guard continue to push, and they need to. Agriani and Axemen are going to have to head into melee. They really need to get all the way into the rear of these Royal Guard, and then if they turn to fight the Agriani and Axemen, the Slingers can just massacre them. But now they've got a problem. Macedonian cavalry did not fully deal with the Epirot cavalry. The Epirot cavalry is going to find the Macedonian cavalry here. Kind of odd. I don't really know exactly what these orders are that are going on. I don't know if maybe the replay glitched or something, because this is very odd here in the center with this cavalry unit just sitting there, and then this one running back here to the sling. I mean, maybe it decided to go protect its slingers rather than continue those charges, but it certainly could have ended that Thessalian cavalry, as it were. But it's like it's chasing something here, so I wonder if the replay glitched, possibly. But we will see. We shall see. So Macedon's going to win that fight there. Let's see if there's any more like unit awkwardness in there. There's definitely awkwardness with some of these units just standing here, which definitely has me wondering whether there hasn't been some kind of strange replay glitch here. There's 7 minutes left. We'll see. If those units start moving, then perhaps it means that the players were just busy elsewhere. See, now we have a chase to nowhere going on with this unit too. Yeah, something seems a little bit glitchy here. I'm going to fast forward. Well, I mean, those units just turned back there, so we'll see what happened. See whether these remaining Macedonian units move. So a bit of an odd finish to this one. It definitely seems like maybe it desynced here towards the end or something, but I think Epirus had a victory pretty much ensured earlier on in this battle, so I don't know exactly why it played out so awkwardly here at the end, and maybe it was because there was chatting going on or something, maybe because of a desync in the replay. I'm not exactly sure one way or the other in this replay. But yeah, interesting game between Hotel Soap and Tori there. These two factions are similar in a lot of ways, and a very interesting build to bring 4 elite pikes and live to tell. And 3 of them picked up a chevron, meaning that they were fairly valuable on the battlefield. Getting that initial skirmishing advantage, though, certainly played in hand to those pikemen, because the pikes are certainly not going to be able to do their job if they don't have a skirmish advantage. So I like seeing that attention to detail there from Hotel Soap in terms of making sure that he brought the Rhodians to help get a hold of the skirmishing advantage that was needed. Those poor mercenary Thracians, I mean, just... sleep, what is it? Rest in peace, you sweet princes. I mean, whatever we want to say there. I mean, they are dead. So dead. It was rough. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed that one. HeirofCarthage signing out for now. I'll see you all soon with some more action in Total War Rome 2.